Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Abby here. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. I post beauty tutorials, random videos, thought videos every Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. So thought video this week on Samson. He is one of the main players in the Old Testament. It's not really someone I thought was a main player until this year when I really started researching him. A little backstory on Samson. Samson is an appointed judge of Israel by God from the time he was a baby. He took the Nazirite vow, which is a very serious vow, devote themselves to the Lord, not touch anything unclean, understand and fulfill all 613 laws of the Old Testament. But as you know, humans, we cannot possibly fulfill all the rules because we fall short, and that's exactly what Samson did. He lived for himself, delighted in many pleasures, women, money, fighting. The Lord was still with him. So that's where we kind of are in the story. He has spotted this woman and he has just fallen head over heels in love with her. The one problem is she's a Philistine, which is their enemy who is trying to enslave Israel, and he is supposed to be a judge, a leader over Israel. The parents have begged him, please don't marry her, and he's like, no, that's my wife, I'm going to marry her. So they are on the way to get his bride right now, and I came across this passage and it really confused me, like baffled me. So I'm going to read it to you guys. So they're on the road to get his wife. This is Judges 14:5. Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother. As they approached the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young roaring lion came roaring towards him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. He went down and talked with the woman that he liked. Sometime later he went back to marry her. He turned aside to look at the lion's carcass, and it had a swarm of bees and some honey. He scooped the honey out with his hands, and he ate as he went along. He rejoined his parents and gave them some, and they ate too. But he did not tell them that he had taken the honey from the lion's carcass. What did we just read? Like, what the frick? Let's digest a little bit. Okay, so my first impression after reading that story is, okay, number one, he touched a dead lion and then didn't tell anybody about it. He lied to his parents because he selfishly still wanted to go to Timnah to see his bride, because he's a Nazirite. He took the Nazirite vow, so he can't touch a dead animal. It's unclean. So it would have held him up for a significant amount of time, so he selfishly still wanted to go see his bride, so he lied to his parents. When they came back, he lied to his parents again, and then he ate honey out of a dead animal. And I'm thinking, oh my god, why is that in the Bible? That is so weird. I prayed about it, had a lot of thought about it, and this is what I came up with. This story is filled with symbolism, and I think you just got to kind of look for it. So let's go back to the roaring lion. If we go to 1 Peter chapter 5:8, we find, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, stand firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. Okay, so the roaring lion, why is he there? Well, the roaring lion resembles Satan, okay? This is foreshadowing of Satan's defeat. The lion's already dead. He's dead. But he offers the pleasures of the world, the honey, something sweet and mouth-watering to us to bring down as many of God's children as he possibly can. However, ultimately, though the honey is sweet for a time, it's still from a dead animal. Like, it is what it is. It's not going to fulfill you. It has no like sustainable nutrients. It's just sweet for a time and then it's done. And I thought this story opened my eyes to that, of how much symbolism is in the Bible. And there are so many other snippets with Samson, so I started diving more in. and the symbolism between Samson and Jesus. I believe Samson was kind of the foreshadowing of Jesus, but I believe Samson is human 100%, and he could never live up to what the Savior of the world needed to be, to show us that man could never save themselves. So, number one, Samson was, an angel of the Lord came to his mother and told him that this child would be dedicated to the Lord. He would be a leader over Israel. He would be the savior of Israel from the Philistines, already from his birth. Samson took the Nazirite vow. We already know Jesus was a Nazirite, for trying to understand and fulfill all the laws of God. Samson could not do that. He could not uphold it. But it shows that the similarities of their life narratives, Jesus and Samson stand in stark contrast. Samson conformed to society, while Jesus rewrote the norms. He rewrote how God was to be received. Another little snippet, but I just thought this was kind of mind-blowing. Samson offended the Philistines, so he ran away after he killed several hundred of them to Judah. He hid in Judah, and the Philistines come knocking on Judah's door, and they're like, hey, give us Samson. And they're like, okay, well, we don't want to die, so we'll give you Samson. They tell Samson, we won't kill you, but we're going to give you over to the Philistines. And I just realized Judah betrayed Samson. Judah betrayed Jesus. Like, that's just like foreshadowing at its finest. And my mind was completely blown. Also, Samson, even though he lived this sinful life, at the end of his life, he's still written in Hebrews 11 among the saints. Hebrews 11:6. Without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. So even though Samson lived this life for himself, he still always came back to God. And in his death, just like Jesus, he achieved more in his death by killing thousands of Philistines than he had ever done in his life. So that's foreshadowing too. But he is written in here, shall I say more? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, and David and Samuel and all the prophets. You would think this guy who lived such a sinful life and, defied God at so many different turns, who is beyond far from perfect, is still written in the book of God in the saints. It just kind of gives me hope that, we're all imperfect, but, God accepts us still, as long as we have faith and we show our faith and we follow him earnestly and seek him. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I know this video is kind of in-depth, and I didn't really go into the in-depth stuff that I really wanted to, because I am not a preacher. This is just me. But I tried to deliver this as best as I could. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.